testing it out.
You never know. Could show up tomorrow.
We continue today's Game 4 news conference with representatives from Tennessee. Joining us left to right, head coach Tony Vitello and student athletes Drew Gilbert and Kirby Connell. Coach will make an opening statement, and then we will go into questions for all three representatives. Please raise your hand, and we will call on you. Coach?
Yeah, I'd say Italians remember or do things or say things in threes, so three things come to mind. First, you guys have a job to do, so I understand the persistence, but we kept coming back to the same topic last night that at the time, that's kind of all I knew, and then, of course, we knew more this morning about clearing Evan Russell, but the school and the program is going to do what every school and program should do and probably does, and that's protect the privacy when it comes to one of our players' health. So obviously tonight the situation arose where we were able to use Evan, but regardless, having him back around is going to make an impact on these guys and is going to help our team win. And at the end of the day, that's kind of my philosophy is I'm just looking for good teammates in this program. So that's all I got on that topic. And then, stemming from that, I'm just going to tell you with 100% honesty because someone told me that it may come up in this thing, and I didn't even think about it. But for about 2 seconds today, I don't know any of the ESPN stuff. I honestly don't. If you gave me $1 million and said, I know there was a lot of stuff that went going around. Well, we could pick any topic you want to with social media now. There's going to be a lot of stuff going on. So I'm not trying to sound like a cool guy or be disrespectful, but I honestly don't care. And a big part of that is I got my hands full here. I appreciate that our fans give me more credit than they should, and I run into people at Ollie B and say, you're killing it. I'm not doing anything. Drew killed the ball tonight, so I got my hands full. I wish I would have managed the game a little bit better tonight. I don't think I destroyed it, but I thought I could. So that's kind of where my energy is. So again, kind of just to put that to rest for now. And then I said three things. What I would like to discuss, and I'll let these guys do it too, is the game. I mean, if you were fortunate enough, I don't know if you guys have to pay for your tickets or not. You shouldn't. Okay. If you're fortunate enough to have a ticket tonight, you got your money's worth. I mean, that's what I would want to talk about. That was a fight, man, and that's an NCAA regional game, but that's just like a championship field game from both squads, and you can really start, in my opinion, with those two starting pitchers. Look at the box score; it's not right. First of all, starting with Doe, we're not in this situation without him, and if you can hold down their lineup at any moment. You did well, and he did it for the first 2 innings. And then things just kind of unfolded in unfortunate fashion, and he wasn't going to be the same guy at that high of a pitch count, so we went and got him. So hopefully that answers another question. But it opened up an opportunity, kind of like the other thing we talked about with Chuck and Kirby. It opened up an opportunity for his teammate, and these guys got each other's backs. And then the other guy, that box score doesn't do it justice. I hope he can sleep well tonight, and that's Keeler. That's some freakish stuff, and I don't know how the box score reads what it does, but he pitched with a lot of heart and good stuff. Neither one of those guys was scared or blamed anybody or did anything that you should be ashamed of. And then again, fortunate maybe because we were playing at home or Cortland Lawson's a competitor. I don't know. Just fortunate to win that thing. So, and if I were going to say a fourth thing, for the second night in a row, I got protein in my floating around in my water. So I'm going to stick with my deal here.
We'll start with Mike for questions.
For Tony and Drew, Blake and Christian both had really big at-bats late in the game. How notable was that for those guys as freshmen to step in those moments and do what they did?
Again, you get if you make moves, if it goes well, you made the right move. If it doesn't, and that's not always right. I mean, the results aren't always going to follow. But when you have talented athletes, they make the coaching staff look smart. But I'll tell you what, if you look at how Blake adjusted from his other at-bats to that one, and then Simo's just determination, you got to sit on the bench the whole game and then come out and put that at-bat together. Those guys look physical. They play with a high level of skill, but there's a lot inside of those guys' two chests too.
Yeah, I think, with those two guys, I think Coach talked about it, a few weeks ago. Those two guys, they don't act like freshmen, right? Obviously, they are freshmen, but, I mean, like you said, they make adjustments quicker than, especially I did as a freshman, and obviously they're incredibly talented.
Ben?
Tony, just with Kirby, what did you see from him tonight? And I know you said what you said about Chase, but just him having to come out when he did, what did Kirby's outing tonight mean to help you all for the weekend? I mean, through a career high in pitches tonight.
Yeah, it's unexpected. I mean, for him to come in the game at that time, and I think we sent him down there with a bit of warning, but you're just not anticipating that. And the same goes for Burnsy. Again, how big he was for us, I don't think is in the line score, and how he had to hang out down there, if you guys could see into the pen and come into an unexpected situation, says a lot about those two guys. But it's that time of year, so you got to be ready for anything. And if I'm going to hand the ball off to a guy when it's hitting the fan, you might as well go to the guy with the mustache, because he takes good care of us. And again, same as the other guys, and I'm not trying to come up with some magical theme here. You're going to feel good about the effort he gives you, and he's going to compete in a way that, he'd been out there before when it didn't go great, but there's really no regrets from any side when he's out there.
You guys had an answer almost every time Campbell did something, whether it was offensively or defensively. Just kind of what went into those responses throughout the game, even from start to finish.
Can you answer, Colin?
Yeah, I kind of. Yeah, I mean, I think it just kind of goes back to a mentality he's just kind of instilled in us, and that's just punch back, right? Anytime someone scores, our mentality is just punch back, and I think it's as simple as that.
Reese.
Drew, did you kind of get flashbacks on that home run at all? Since it's a 1-year anniversary too of that
Yeah,
last
I mean,
one.
to be honest with you, not really. I was kind of pretty into that at bat. I mean, like Coach said, that guy, he threw the crap out of the ball. I know that, whatever you want to call us, box score doesn't necessarily say that, but I mean, he was really, really good. And, he started me with 2 really, really good changeups. And at that point, I kind of figured he was probably going to come back to it. And I was just trying to see it up and put a good swing on it.
West and Jack.
Yeah, for both guys, both players, Campbell's had, those numbers were good, but I guess you never really know exactly what competition guys are playing and all that stuff. What did you expect from them when you went into this game?
Yeah, so we expected a dogfight. We've noticed what they've done throughout the season, and you look at the box scores throughout the year, and they can swing it very well, and they play really good defense. So we knew it was going to be a dogfight coming into it. And, we had a lot of guys that stood out, and it really helped us pull it out.
Coach, from guys like Cortland Lawson, the freshman Blake Burke, to Drew and Trey, you get so many guys in this lineup that have come up in big moments this season. How comforting is that as a coach to know that whoever's at the plate, no matter what, even guys off the bench, there's a guy who can deliver?
Yeah, I mean, you're not concerned about the guys off the bench, just guys being prepared, but also in the lineup. There's just a weird thing, and this is kind of conundrum, because I don't think I can read this team as well as I have other teams, like put a thumb on, these guys are real loose today, or these guys are super intent on what they're doing, or they're not ready to play. And I guess it's a good thing, because the one thing I can say is the vibe is always fairly consistent, and maybe that's why I can't get a read, because there's no ups and downs or blips on the radar screen to read. So the fact that guys are prepared and they're into it is already comforting. But then when you go up and down the lineup and there's a scale of talent there, and if somebody needs to come out for whatever reason, or we like a matchup better, you have depth and options. And I know it's a broken record, but where you kind of lose faith in the option thing is, well, is this guy paying attention to the game, or is he ready, or is he going to try and do too much? Does he not trust his teammates? Just does he know the signs? I've been there before, and they have those boxes checked. So if they're going to get beat or it's not going to go well, it's going to be because of my little theme tonight. They're going to get in there, they're going to compete or grind, whatever you want to phrase it, and it's either going to go well or it's not. Those are pretty much the only 2 outcomes you can have when you either take the ball or swing the bat anyway.
Ben.
Kirby, a couple weeks ago you said you were a lefty specialist. You were a little bit more than that tonight. Just what was your mindset throughout the outing, throwing a career high in pitches, and what was working so well for you?
Yeah, so I came in, I came in a tough situation, and, I've done that a couple times, and it's been good, and I've been able to get out of it. And basically all I do is just let my defense play, keep them off guard with all different kinds of pitches, and just let my defense play and let the offense do what they do.
Not often this team trails this season, which can be a good and bad thing, but was there a moment in this game where you guys knew that the momentum had flipped back in your favor?
Yeah, I don't know if I think we always kind of, like I said, we respect our opponent, and we never. Doesn't matter if we put we put a 5 spot up in the 9th or something like that, and we had a 5-0 lead. But I think, it's never really like take your foot off the gas, right? When we go out to play defense, we're expecting them to come out swinging it, right? So I think it's just kind of, keeping our foot on the gas the whole game, no matter what the score is.
I mean, you asked what to expect out of these guys, and I thought Kirby had a thoughtful answer. For me, if we were going to play these guys, you kind of look at all three a little bit. You're getting Wright State and maybe with a couple better arms, and that's no disrespect. That's just going off what I saw with my eyes. I mean, they got a first rounder, and then I don't see why this kid can't be a first rounder too for them next year. So. And you know what we had in Wright State last year, and when we played them the year before. So that's kind of the comp that I have.
Ryan.
Tony, has been said Kirby's kind of been a lefty specialist for a lot of the year, and that's changed the last few weeks. Just what has he done to change it, or was there kind of a moment where y'all's confidence in him grew?
No, I mean, I think we've always had confidence in his closing games last year. It's kind of weird if you're not necessarily a starter, or you're getting the ball, or we just leave you in the 3-hole like Jordan, and you're there, then Frank says it better than I do, but there's kind of cycles, it kind of comes and goes. Because you all could very easily be sitting here saying, what the hell were you doing with Blake Burke on the bench at any point during this year? But, there was times where he wasn't swinging as well as he is now, and then also there was just times where you got to pick something, and we were picking other things. So, again, dating back to really when we were recruiting him, the whole thing was, hey, this guy's on a really talented team full of all these prospecty guys, but when it's the most important situation or the most important game, this is the guy we want to throw. And that's what kind of started the thing, and I would keep kind of that same theme as it relates to our team here. We're fortunate enough to have a few options, but if we're in a bind or it's an important situation, there's never any doubt that he's a good option for us.
Troy.
Drew, you mentioned that punchback mentality. It kind of seemed like Campbell had one of their own. Just how big of a swing was that from Cortland in the 9th to kind of give y'all some breathing room heading into that final act?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, obviously that was a great swing, but I think that all starts with Christian Moore's at bat, the at bat before, for him to come in off the bench and scrap it out and put a good swing on a good pitch, bring in that first run. I think that all started with him, and then like Coach V said, Cortland's just a competitor, man. He's a great ball player. He's been a super consistent guy, and it was awesome to see him come through in that situation.
Wes, then Ryan.
For both players, I know that, for all the games y'all have won this season, in any week now, if you lose 2, I mean, it's over. How do you not let that pressure that's been building kind of become an issue? Because y'all seem to not really be faced by it.
Yeah, so basically, we just worry about the next game. Win or lose, you gotta play another one. So you just gotta go in and sleep on it and come back the next day and focus on the next thing.
Yeah, I think kind of just piggyback off of that. I mean, obviously everyone knows that, but I think when you worry about things like that, that's when things usually go south. So I think for us, it's just controlling what we can control, and that's showing up and preparing and competing our best.
Kirby, you were one of the go-to bullpen arms for a lot of last season. Was accepting a new role earlier this year hard? Did you feel like you lost any of your confidence at times?
No, coming in, we lost a lot of guys from last year's team. And then we had a lot of guys come back in the relief situation. So basically it was just, find a new role, worry about the next thing, and, when your time comes, you got to take it and run. Reese.
When you guys are down, I think it was 4-0 early. What are the conversations like that you guys keep your spirits up, I guess, in the dugout?
Yeah, I think it's just just keep leaning on the guy, right? I mean, sometimes it's going to go like that. You aren't going to score 6 runs in the first and second inning, but I think just kind of trying to build off of our ABs and keep stacking quality at bats. I think that's what we did, and the results ended up coming through.
Tony, how much different is Sunday as opposed to today and yesterday, where you kind of have to wait and see who you play as opposed to kind of going into the day knowing who you got?
Yeah, it's a little bit different. it's almost you can relax, but then you're gonna have to put your foot on the pedal if that makes sense, as far as the coaching role goes. So you got to be careful about not having your ducks in a row if that makes sense. So the best thing is just to prepare for any situation, and the guys know how competitive the game is going to be to start the day, and I don't know if they'll watch it or not, and then you know that tomorrow's night game is going to be very competitive. What I would say as it relates to that is I kept trying to explain to the guys how much Hoover, just the rainouts, the competition, everything to it was going to help them. And they probably weren't listening because they were more concerned about, hey, there's a trophy on the line, or we want to be the best team that's here. Well, now they should see, with tomorrow's environment, it's kind of one of those things where you may not hit BP on the field, you may not know who you're playing till the last minute. But again, I would say it's that time of year. Expect chaos and be prepared for anything, and also just enjoy playing. Man, what a great night it would have been to be a fan. I don't know if I could have had as many beverages as those students seem to have, but what a great night to be a fan. So if you're a player, you obviously have to be a little more focused, but enjoy getting to play. Everybody wants to play tomorrow, and some teams don't get to, unfortunately.
Last two questions. We'll go with Mike.
Tony, pitching, playing tomorrow, Beam, Sewell, kind of those guys?
Yeah, it's nice that Kirby, it's not ideal to not have a starter log at least 5 innings or whatever the magic number is. I mean, for us, it's been 4 this year. But with what Kirby did, now you feel better about what's down there. And Burnsy's going to be a guy that's going to look and say, I got more than 25 pitches to contribute to this thing this weekend. And that may happen, but I don't know if he'll be able to bounce back tomorrow. That's my one initial thought. But basically everyone runs around when this thing's over with. I know we have a little bit more time because Campbell went first, but I haven't discussed with those guys yet. So,
Drew, just you continually find yourself in these game-deciding situations. Just what's your mindset going into these at-bats where it can change the outcome of the game?
Yeah, I mean, this year specifically, I've tried to put an equal importance on each at bat. Obviously it's fun hit with runners on base, but I think, just trying to learn from my previous at bats, and kind of how he was pitching me, and learn from how he pitched other guys. I think it's just trying to kind of collect all the info, and at the end of the day, just go up there and compete. All right.
Thank you.
thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Could Drew start on the mound tomorrow?
Mini floaty.
Is there a boost?
Hey, I'll ask him tomorrow.
Yeah, here's your pitcher.